Welcome to KYC Media News. We bring you the greatest and most up-to-date news of the day, and we invite you to stay tuned. Iran increases crude sales. Russia and Iran are speeding up their project. Europe gas prices rise 60% in 2 weeks. Iran increases crude sales. The cost of oil and its products has expanded and the circumstance of selling oil has improved, Mir Kazemi told correspondents uninvolved of the bureau meeting in Tehran on Wednesday. Iranian oil minister Javad Oji said last month that his nation was selling unrefined at a decent cost, adding that new business sectors have been found for trades. Iran has its own clients in the oil market and keeps selling oil at a decent value, Oji told correspondents after a bureau meeting in Tehran. New business sectors have been recognized, he added. Interim Oji made light of the detailed Russian endeavors to surpass Iran's portion of the rough market, saying that it will require investment for Russia to find clients for its unrefined given the intense approvals forced on its energy area by the West. Tehran has its own clients and will effectively proceed with its deals of oil at great costs, he added. Russia has offered many limits to oil buyers, yet it will require investment for the Russians to find clients given the authorization set on the country, the priest said. Recently, Oji said that Iran's oil sends out have ascended under the hardest ascents without sitting tight for the result of the as of now slowed down Vienna converses with eliminate them. He said that Iran took oil to the spots the Americans couldn't imagine. Not just has the FO not facilitated its ascents, but rather it has likewise exacerbated them by pursuing Iranian ships and attempting to catch our boats to forestall a leap in Iran's oil sends out, Oji said in March. Russia and Iran are speeding up their project. Normally, one of the results of the ascents forced by Western nations on Russia is to animate the last option's quest for ways of bypassing the limitations. Since the moves made by Western nations to rebuff Russia for its extension of Crimea and its most memorable mediation in the Donbass area in eastern Ukraine in 2014, Russia has been enthusiastically attempting to conquer the hindrances brought about by Western choices in regards to its unfamiliar exchange. It is additionally normal for Iran, which is likewise experiencing Western ascents, particularly the extreme U.S. sanctions forced on it by Donald Trump in 2018 when he pulled out from the 2015 atomic arrangement. It is normal that Iran and Russia meet in a similar undertaking. According to this point of view, Vladimir Putin's conflict on Ukraine, sent off 4 months prior, enchanted Iran's rulers. This conflict, as well as debilitating Russia's capacities in different fields, including the Syrian field where there is a notable contest for impact among Moscow and Tehran, could disturb the financial relations among Russia and Iran in light of a legitimate concern for the last option. This is the very thing the Iranian-conceived analyst Ali Fathallah-Nejad showed in his clarification of Russia changing its situation on the Vienna discussions in regards to the U.S. re-getting the atomic arrangement together with Iran. After Moscow mentioned composed ensures from Washington that Western approvals forced won't influence its financial and military participation with Tehran, Russia reported the answer for the issue with amazing adaptability. Fathallah-Nejad noted, freeing Iran from the many approvals forced on it might assist Russia with bypassing the weighty ascents it is presently confronting. Europe gas prices rise 60% in 2 weeks. The cost of petroleum gas each megawatt-hour in Europe expanded 60% throughout recent weeks, with worldwide gas supply diminishing because of specialized issues. The cost of flammable gas each megawatt-hour for July contracts in Europe, exchanging on the Netherlands-based Virtual Petroleum Gas Exchanging Point, TTF, rose to €127.17, $133.49, at shutting on Wednesday, a 60% leap from €79.40, $83.35, on June 8, Anadolu News Organization revealed. The megawatt-hour cost of gaseous petrol, exchanged at €79.40 on June 8, was the most reduced shutting level throughout recent months starting from the beginning of the Russia-Ukraine battle on February 24. On June 16, gaseous petrol shut at €124.36 to arrive at the most noteworthy shutting level since March 31st. The decline in the amount of flammable gas from Russia to Europe and the conclusion of the Freeport LNG terminal in the U.S. territory of Texas because of fire have pushed gas costs higher. Russian energy organization Gazprom declared on June 14 that everyday gas shipments to Europe by means of the Nord Stream line have decreased from 167 million cubic meters to 100 million cubic meters. As of June 16, Gazprom said it will just stockpile up to 67 million cubic meters of gas through the line. Shipments through the Yamal-Europe line have halted, and shipments by means of Ukraine have diminished by about half, as indicated by Gazprom's past declarations. As well as bringing down the amount of gas provided to Europe, Russia additionally halted shipments to Poland, Bulgaria, Denmark, Finland and the Netherlands, referring to breaks of agreement for not conforming to the ruble installment framework it demanded. On the U.S. side, the Freeport LNG terminal in Texas has been closed down since June 9 because of a fire. At first, the closure was made arrangements for 3 weeks, yet authorities later reported it would be reached out for the rest of the year. German business feeling sours in the midst of gas deficiency fears. German business spirit drooped in June in the midst of stresses that rising costs and gas deficiencies will delay the economy in the last part of the year, a key study showed Friday. The IFO Business Environment list, in view of a study of around 9,000 firms, tumbled to 92.3 places in June from 93.0 places in May in the midst of developing negativity about the remainder of the year. Rising energy costs and approaching gas deficiencies are causing extraordinary worry for the German economy, said IFO President Clemens Fuest, referring to specific weight on the synthetic business, which depends vigorously on petroleum gas supplies from Russia. On Thursday, Berlin cautioned of a high gamble to long-haul supply deficiencies because of Russia chalking off gas conveyances. The nation has raised its public energy alert over Russia's financial assault. The review results add to the obscuring picture for the German economy. On Thursday, the PMI study for June showed that German monetary feeling lost practically all the energy acquired from the facilitating of infection-related limitations, with development in the help area cooling strongly for the second month straight in June, as per Phil Smith, financial expert at S&P Global, which accumulates the review. The German economy will not plunge as it did during the 2020 lockdowns, said ING business analyst Karsten Brzeski. Nonetheless, shoppers' certainty is now in clear downturn domain, and these readings both recommend that the assembling area is rapidly going with the same pattern. Stagflation until the end of the year remains our base case situation for the German economy, and a by and large downturn is our gamble situation, he added. The Australian Prime Minister and Julian Assange. Australia's top state leader has excused calls to freely request that the US drop its arraignment of Julian Assange after the WikiLeaks Prime supporters better half communicated trusts the public authority in Canberra would mediate. Anthony Albanese, who was chosen last month, would not say whether he had examined the case with President Joe Biden after the UK requested the Australian resident's removal on spying charges the week before. There are certain individuals who feel that assuming you put things in capital letters on Twitter and put an interjection mark, that in some way makes it more significant. It doesn't, Mr. Albanese said on Monday. I expect to lead an administration that connects strategically and fittingly with our accomplices. The Australian government has been feeling the squeeze to come to Assange's side over the situation, which his allies express adds up to a political assault on activities safeguarded by the US Constitution. Mr. Albanese's remarks come after Australian resident Assange's better half prior on Monday encouraged the government to ask its nearest partner to wrap this matter up. In a meeting with the Australian Broadcasting Corporation's Radio National, Stella Assange said the body of evidence against her better half was an abnormality that condemned newscasting. There's most certainly a shift, she said of the new government's methodology. It seems like we've been running a long-distance race for quite a while. But presently it seems like we have many individuals running close by us and we could see the end goal. Ms. Assange rehashed concerns she has voiced about her better half's actual well-being, which is said to have decayed decisively over the 3 years he has been confined in Belmarsh. So his well-being was in decline and we're very stressed that he will at any second have a horrendous well-being episode inside Belmarsh jail without the capacity to seek crisis treatment, since that is the idea of penitentiaries, fundamentally, she said. Assange is needed by the US on 18 counts, including a spying allegation, after his association distributed private military records and discretionary links. Whenever sentenced for breaking the Espionage Act, he has to carry out upwards of 175 years in prison. Bulgaria's Prime Minister has expressed concern. Bulgaria's active Prime Minister Kirill Petkov on Friday encouraged his North Macedonian partner Dimitar Kovacevski to be courageous and to acknowledge a French-drove compromise that would open the entryway for Skopje to begin formal enrollment converses with the EU. However, Petkov recognized that doing so could fall Kovacevski's administration, similarly as Petkov himself confronted and lost a certainty vote on Wednesday. By the day's end, I know it's politically hard, Petkov said in a meeting with Politico in Brussels, similarly as the Bulgarian parliament was supposed to decide on Friday to lift a long-standing block on North Macedonia's promotion talks. What's more, I know that the gamble of overturning the public authority it's a major gamble, he proceeded. As a government official, one needs to choose, what is my motivation here? Is my motivation to be steady? Or on the other hand, is my motivation to lead the country move forward that isn't easily going there? Also, I think this is the choice Dimitar Kovacevski needs to do now. If I was in his shoes, on his side, I wouldn't actually reconsider. On the off chance that he can go in history by opening the entryway for North Macedonia into the EU, I believe it's a decent accomplishment for a state leader. In any case, it takes guts. Petkov on Wednesday lost a no-certainty vote after political opponents benefited from the questionable debate with North Macedonia to bring down his overseeing alliance.